But let me go into this first one here. I have, guys. So Audrey says, here's my translation of the new FS7 Rebirth Famitsu interview in full. All right. So the game's presumably released in December 2023. Well, y'all know that might mean fiscal year, so that might mean actually March of 2024. Just because I know.
Oh, time out. 2024?
You don't think it's coming out 2024?
Oh, you said this is Rebirth.
Yeah, FS7 Rebirth. This is what she's going to about. That's games presumably released in December 2023, because they said that it'll be releasing next winter, but winter is December until like March. But I'm thinking they're thinking fiscal year time. Because fiscal year is different from regular.
Nah, I would say it's gonna be probably like next year. It's gonna be maybe February or March, cause it came out remake came out in March. So
remake came out in March of 2020.
Yeah, so
you're saying so your speculation is going to be March of 2024?
No, 2023.
No,
I think
sir.
It'll be 2023.
No, the reason why I'm saying that is because they kind of pushed the game back a couple of times. They kind of kept it on the wraps.
But they've already said next winter of next year, dude. That means next winter of 2023, not March of 2023.
Yeah.
Then
they say sometime next year, whenever or sometime.
They said next winter. When they announced the next winter, that means not this winter, but next winter. That means March 2023 is out the question. That's why I'm confused.
Yep. Yeah, so it might be either December of 2022 or March 2023.
Nope.
No, you're getting confused, sir. December 2022 is supposed to be Crisis Core Reunion.
Oh no, I'm sorry, 2023 or 2024. Yeah, my bad.
You're good.
Jesus fucking Christ, but you're getting confused.
I woke. All right, shut up.
It says here no more wants players to enjoy Crisis Core, Final Fantasy 7, and remake. Wait, hold on. Crisis Core, Final Fantasy 7 remake, and FF7. Oh, Ever Crisis, and to connect them to the trilogy. Oh,
yeah, there we go. I know we was talking about that earlier.
Okay, and Zack is a key character to FF7 Rebirth. Interesting.
Yep.
All right, let's check this out.
Well,
Let me see.
I kind of figured that with the way, because I've already seen that little snippet because of TikTok and shit like that.
Yeah.
I've already seen that snippet, so it makes sense that he would be a key character for the simple fact that with the timeline being all fucky-wucky as it is now, and him surviving the incident that he wasn't supposed to survive, it would make sense that he's a key character just for the simple fact that it transfers over all of that. Like, he was supposed to be gone.
Right.
But now he's not. So there's obviously, there's something afoot going on. So with him still being alive and out there somewhere, he's going to be a key character in some way. It's just a matter of how will he be a key character.
Exactly. Like, my ideal dream and think what I would love them to do is maybe like in the third game, not necessarily the second game, even though it'd be awesome if they did, but in the third game, like maybe there's some issue where or some way that the timelines actually merge, so Zack is alive in the time or where with Cloud, right, and the rest of his team would not, and they take on Sephiroth together. Like, you play as Zack and Cloud in a fight against Sephiroth in the third game. Like, I would love that shit personally.
I don't predict that they got him in one of those
or there was that make Zack playable in some way,
Like, I believe they got Zack in one of those little test things, like they had him and before, like, in Crisis Core, like they had him and Cloud in one of those little pinks and everything.
I don't think he'll be in one of those containers. So
in which timeline are you talking about, Brent? Are you talking about in Cloud's timeline, or are you talking about in Zack's timeline currently in the remake where he's alive?
I think it, like the remake when he's alive and everything. I think after all that, the BS that he went through and everything, he had to have some type of like him being healed, like healing and something like that, because he went through a lot of shit.
So you're saying that he's gonna go to a container to heal in the timeline that he's alive in, that he was supposed to die?
Yeah, I think like Hojo probably has something to do with like trying to keep Zack alive or something, because at the end, what his name, Zing, whatever his name from the Turks and everything was pretty much trying to hurry up and get to him.
Oh, you talking about Reno?
No.
You told me from the
head-
Turks.
Yeah, from the Turks. Like this is Crisis Core and everything. What I'm saying, like at the end of it, he was
Sang.
Zhang,
You talking about
Zhang,
Sang.
yeah, Zhang was trying to hurry up and get to him.
However you want to say it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, my bad. Go ahead.
So he was trying to hurry up and get to him and everything. So I believe he did get to him, saw that all that stuff happened to him and everything, and pretty much got him and took him back to the Turks and everything. Well, like to the Turk side. But
Okay,
kept everything-
but at one point though, you were talking about that he got to him.
This is at the end. Like this is at the end of Crisis Core. Like
Oh no, I thought you were talking about the remake, like that he somehow got to him in the remake. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm saying like pretty much in the remake, I'm saying like the timeline pretty much. Sane got the Zack, pretty much was healing him and everything, and pretty much got him to a place where he can actually be healed and continue, living and everything. So that'll be the timeline that we're not Rebirth, but remake is in. Like Zack actually made it instead of pretty much just dying.
Well, keep in mind that same timeline that Zack is alive in is gonna go into Rebirth as well.
That's what I'm saying. Like all of that is gonna be in Rebirth and everything. Like Zack is still alive in some form in some way.
Right. We got two timelines. We're dealing with. We're dealing with a timeline where Zack is alive and he's supposed to die, and we got the timeline where Cloud and his friends are there, and to Cloud's timeline, Zack is already dead.
Yeah.
So we got those two that are crossing over in some degree. Go ahead, Alex.
There's 3 timelines crossing over.
Really? Okay.
There's a reason. I've already gone into talks about this with you before. Remember how you said there's like 3 Sephiroths technically throughout the first game? That is why I want to say there's 3 timelines crossing over. You have the one Sephiroth that knows everything that's going to happen and is trying to prevent it.
Right.
Now, if you remember with them showing off Rebirth, Sephiroth was walking with Cloud.
Yes, but I think that was a flashback.
It could be a flashback, or what I'm thinking is going to be the timeline where Zack is alive, because technically in the timeline where Zack's alive, that is also a timeline where Sephiroth might not have gone crazy in finding out, with his mother, this, that, and the other. He found out he's an experiment. So there's a chance that he didn't go crazy because Zack was there able to help him, like, go through the motions to be like, yo, don't be doing this bullshit that you're about to do now.
Right.
So there's a chance that is a Sephiroth that is currently walking with Cloud. And then we have another Sephiroth that is, in a sense, part of Cloud's timeline that will go crazy. And the one that is from the third timeline that knows everything is trying to get that to happen, but also prevent himself from dying as well. Which is why he's trying to fuck with everything as of right now.
Which is why Remake is called Remake, because the first game, that's why Rebirth is called Rebirth in a sense. It's like there's something that's going to happen in the sequel that I think is that ties to Sephiroth. Because Maximilian do point us out where he thinks it's going to be a rebirth of some kind for Sephiroth, and it's like the names are like Remake and Rebirth are referring to Sephiroth, which after like thinking about it more, and I've gone through like playing the games twice, pay attention to lore. Yeah, because the first game, it's about remaking the timeline where Sephiroth, one Sephiroth that knows what's going to happen to him, that's from the future, he's trying to remake shit to where he succeeds this time.
Yeah.
Instead of, so, yeah, that's an interesting take.
That's a good interesting point. I like that.
But also like what Alex points out, that there's 3 timelines possibility, because that is a thing. He makes a good point of, because there's 3 Sephiroths. There's the one from the future that's trying to remake shit, present day, I think in Cloud, and then the one from Zack's timeline where Zack lived. Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But I want to get into these questions in the interview. So
go ahead.
Get you guys' thoughts on this. So in this interview, this is page 1. Let's see. Do you plan on making other remakes from the compilation? For example, Dirge of Cerberus, Weiss and Nero's voices were in Crisis Core FF7, and they also appeared in the remake, Intergrade. Will they make another appearance? Nomura says, our staff really wanted to do a remaster of Dirge of Cerberus as well as before Crisis FF7, but after taking into consideration the cost of doing so, we do not have plans at this time. We want them to show up in remake Intergrade because we want all the FF7 titles to be connected with a common world. They also appeared as very formidable bosses, so That's what we said on that. Awesome, awesome. So I never played Dirty Service, but I've heard bad things about that too. Have you guys played that game?
I never played it, but I remember hearing that it wasn't. Some people said it was okay, and some people were just like, it's stupid. Don't even touch it. I know. I do want to at some point though.
I know it takes place after, like, I think Avid Children, or
Yeah, take place after Avid Children.
so, and then you're playing as Vincent, and you're doing whatever the hell you're doing with this Vincent. I don't know too much about the story in that though,
I
but
don't know much either.
honestly, I don't think we really need that. I would love it if they incorporated, you know, elements of Advent Children a bit more into the trilogy or compilation. To be real with you, like, or like whether it's like DLC expansion thing like they did with Yuffie, you know, or just in the core game itself.
They could technically still incorporate that because again, you have the Sephiroth.
Right, we got Advent
future.
Children Sephiroth in there, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have him in there. So if the Sephiroth that knows technically the future is in a sense from the timeline that has Advent Children and knows what happens at that point, then yeah, they are already adding instances from Advent Children into that because of that reasoning.
Yeah. Very true. And do you guys think they should have remastered Dirge of Cerberus at all?
If they do, I feel like they're gonna have to change.
They said they're
something.
not. They said it would be cost too much. There's no plans to do so.
Yeah,
So they're going instead they're going to try and sort of incorporate some of it into the trilogy. It sounds like.
If they were to remake it, like if they just decided to remake it, from what I'm aware, they would probably have to change a lot in it.
Yeah.
To make it decent.
Yeah. That's fair.
At least that was what I heard. I heard the game was.
I would say, but yeah, what you're talking about, Alex, I would say that they have to tweak like some of the gameplay, like the action of it, like, you know, targeting and everything. I heard that like the targeting and everything was pretty awful. Like moving around and everything, and you know, trying to shoot at people and everything was pretty much, it was not good.
Yeah. I see. Let's talk about FS7 Ever Crisis. We saw a younger Sephiroth with shorter hair at the end of the trailer, correct? Nomura says that's right. Since FS7, the First Soldier's world is also included, there will be an episode regarding First Soldier as well. Interesting. Okay. So with the FS Ever Crisis game, they're actually going to incorporate, I guess, the Battle Royale First Soldier story stuff in there too. And I know we saw younger Sephiroth in there, and like I think somebody was saying like that could have been it might have been you, Brent, that could have been what's his name from Advent Children?
They're doing a Kingdom Hearts. God damn it.
They might be Kadaj. Like I think you or someone else said it might have been Kadaj when they showed the younger version of Sephiroth. I don't know for sure, but it's possible, or that just could simply be a younger version of Sephiroth, because I mean, heck, we probably will be playing as a younger version of Sephiroth in some way or some capacity in Rebirth, I think, because of the whole how once you're out of Midgar in the original game, you know, Cloud goes into that backstory when his friends kind of ask him about it, Corn about it, and he starts talking about, and then you have Cloud and Sephiroth in the truck and everything like that. So,
but you know, he started telling that when they get to
Calm.
fuck.
Or
Calm.
whatever.
Calm,
I
yeah.
think it is.
I think it's Calm, yeah. And they're like in the hotel or whatever. They're like in the hotel or whatever, or lodge.
I thought that was when they had went back to you're right.
No, as soon as they left Midgar, they technically, well, in the original, they separate you three with the other two, whoever decide you pick, and you meet in the closest city, which is Calm. You go in, you go into the inn, you go up. It's like, oh, your party is waiting for you upstairs. You go upstairs, and then you can either A, choose to talk about the story, or be like, no, go fuck yourself. I'm not going to talk about it, and go from there.
Right.
I remember those choices. It wasn't literally go fuck yourself. It was more of like, it's too much to talk about right now, or something like that.
Gotcha.
Because here's the thing, like, if you take notice, you'll see, like, Tifa just like, did that really happen?
Yeah, right. You're correct. She was confused. Like, did that really happen?
The thing is, if you remember correctly, she also talks about the fact that she doesn't remember much as to what happened when they go back.
True.
Like when Cloud and Sephiroth arrive in Nibelheim, they don't. Tifa herself even goes, "I don't remember much as to what happened."
Yeah, I think she mainly remembers when her dad got killed, and she's like, "Is
She
this
remembers that. She remembers, I want to say, getting attacked by Sephiroth.
Yep.
Hit you.
And being saved by Cloud in a sense.
Yeah.
I
She
think
remember
that's
the picture,
about
too.
all she really remembers. Is like
What
those
picture? I'm trying to remember what picture.
Remember when they all took the picture in front of the mansion?
Yep.
Oh, you're right.
There was that
You're
picture
right.
as well. But the thing is, she doesn't remember the picture, in a sense. Like she remembers the picture being taken, but
it's all jumbled up. Like what? Like were you there, Cloud? I don't.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it hits that point. It's not until much later in the game where it gets discovered. Like, oh hey, this is the actual like source of like who was where.
Yeah.
Because everyone's here played the original, correct?
I mean,
Yeah.
While we're talking about it, I know it's gonna be people popping in and out and everything, but we have to talk about it. I can't say we're not gonna be talking about spoiler. We're gonna be dipping in and out of spoiler territory. So
Well, when
Yeah.
it comes to the original, if you've never played it or seen it, well, there's gonna be
Oh,
spoilers added in with that.
I've played it.
I'm
It's
just saying.
yeah.
But later on, when both Cloud and Tifa fall into the live stream, which I want to say with it being a 3-disc game, this is like end of second, somewhere in the third disc. That's when the two of them.
That's the second going into the third. This I think. Cause that's when
I
everybody.
thought that was the case. It was somewhere. It was around that range. That much I do know.
Yeah.
That was when Tifa goes through and starts piecing together all the memories of Cloud and realizes that, oh shit, it wasn't Cloud that was there. It was actually Zack that arrived.
Yup.
And Cloud was just one of the regular soldiers there.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you remember, fuck, you never played Crisis Core. God damn it.
I never played it, but I know Crisis Core's story for the most part.
Okay, so if you remember in Crisis Core, when Zack and Cloud first meet, Zack they talk about their hometowns, Cloud being Nibelheim, Zack
Right.
being Gongaga, things like that. And that's where they're currently going, is Nibelheim at that time when they're talking about it. So in Crisis Core, you see that it was actually Zack that came in, and then also in the original, once you're going through the live stream and you're piecing the puzzle together with Tifa, because that's the only person you can control at that time.
Yeah.
You're actually piecing together Cloud's memories from the time, because at the end of Crisis Core, Zack told him to take on his memories. Like, he told him to go on in his stead.
Yep.
Yeah, like
Sure
his
did.
legacy and all that.
Which, in doing so, he literally took on everything that was Zack.
Yep.
He took on his memories, because technically he was there for pretty much all of Zack's missions besides like a few. He was there with Zack for pretty much all of his missions. He took on his fighting style. He took everything that was Zack, became Cloud at that point. And it's not until the live stream where you piece together that Cloud literally took the meaning of become me and said, I'm Zack, bitch! And went through the rest of his time as a mercenary, in a sense.
Yeah.
Playing the role of Zack Fair from Crisis Core. Now, obviously, he doesn't have the happy-go-lucky, I'm gonna do what I want type thing that Zack has. Because Zack had that no matter what. Even during the final bits of Crisis Core, he still had that attitude. Cloud didn't. Cloud literally emotionally shut himself off from everyone and everything.
Oh yeah, Cloud basically becomes an asshole. Like
It literally wasn't until the live stream where he gets that shit back. Not fully, but he gets some of those feelings back. He starts to get his emotions back. He starts to get his feelings back for people. That's when all of that shit hits. And
he realizes
that I've been living myself a fucking life for the past I don't know how long.
Yeah. I want to say roughly 6 or 7 years, because what happened in Crisis Core takes place 7 years before the original game. So around 6 or 7 years ish. He's been living that.
So he's been living a emotionless life as Zack in his own view for 6 to 7 years. And hell, even if we take in Advent Children, he still has a feeling of like no emotions. Well, that's because that's how we knew him in Final Fantasy VII. But he still takes on the role of having no emotions the entire time until pretty much the end of the fucking movie.
Yeah.
When Zack comes up and says, "Hey, you need help fighting him?" "Nah, I'm good." "You sure?" "I'm pretty sure you know, you kind of got fucked up there." He's like, "Nah, I got this." And then Cloud goes off, fucks Sephiroth up. Sephiroth fucks off, and then Cloud comes down, helps everyone heal the stigma because of the live stream being in the church, and then sees Zack and Aerith walk out through the light of the church.
Yeah.
That entire sequence there gives him once again his emotions back.
Yep.
Cloud wasn't truly an asshole. Like, it was just like
he was kind of one, or he was a jerk, because he wasn't really trying to, like, he was kind of mean at first, you know, the Avalanche went on, then when we part of him, didn't care about them or Shimmer and all this. Then slowly...
Cloud didn't give a shit about anyone at all. He didn't even give a shit about Tifa.
Yeah, that's
childhood friend.
Exactly.
Did not give a shit about her at all until after the fucking live stream incident. That's when he started caring about everyone.
Yep.
For literally 2 discs of that entire fucking game, he looks at everyone and says, "Fuck you, fuck this, fuck that, fuck the planet, fuck the world. I don't give a fuck about anyone. Fuck everything. I just want to go after Sephiroth because he's the only one that I fucking care about that I want to fucking destroy."
Yeah.
That's it. After that, I don't give a shit about what the fuck you guys do.
True. Let's move on here to the next one. So, FF7 Rebirth now. Let's see. We see Cloud and Sephiroth walking together, and that's a scene from Cloud's flashback, right? Nomura responds back, "Yes, that is correct. Due to some rules regarding what info we can show, the UI has a position of it that's turned off. This made some people think that it's a new scene, but I just wanted to clear this up." And kind of last has a person. So that confirms that it is a flashback. I'm sorry, Alex. So yeah, that is a flashback.
I mean, it's still a valid opinion to have on it, though.
No, yeah, because your opinion of what it could have been differently instead of the flashback, yeah, it could have been true. And then Kitase even also responds to this: "The mountains in the background are very distinct, so it allows you to recall the original's location," which I believe that's Niflheim or whatever they're heading to.
Niflheim?
Yeah, Niflheim.
Niflheim? Nibelheim?
You know what I mean.
Nibelheim.
Nibelheim. Sorry. And the original Sephiroth joins your party and fights with you in the flashback. Well, it happened again. Nomura says, "Please wait for more information regarding that." Oh my God, he's teasing us. He's teasing us.
No, he's doing a fucking
my opinion, my thought is still valid.
It is.
My thought is still valid. Go fuck yourself, Mike.
but here though, here's the thing though. Like when you look at that trailer though, it definitely seems like you're not necessarily playing Cloud. You're playing as Sephiroth, and this because of the way the characters are moving. And I hope you're playing it. You're moving, controlling Sephiroth in that. And I sincerely hope, at least in the flashback, they let us play Sephiroth. You know, and that's if that's the only time we play him, because that makes sense based on what they did in Yuffie DLC, which I know you still have to play, both of y'all. But next here, so in that scene with Sephiroth, you can see that the distance to the destination is quite far. Seems like the maps are extremely huge. Nomura says, "I can't talk about that much yet, but it is very vast." Kitase says, "Oh, you can also recall the original as well. Once you left Midgard, you had a feeling of, well, where do we go now?" In a sense, yeah. Would you guys agree?
I mean, even in the original, when you leave Midgard, you're just like, fuck, where am I supposed to go now?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Until you run into that big ass lake when the big ass snake come out of nowhere. Oh, I gotta go that way.
Yeah.
Oh, the Midgard Soma, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah. And
fuck
then,
that damn thing.
with such a vast world that opens up for you, anyone would be excited to start on their journey. In the trailer, we also see Zack carrying Cloud on his shoulders as they make their way back to Midgard. Moore says, "Yes, we hope that FF7 Rebirth will give you that feeling of opening up to the journey. Zack is a key character in this game. Please look forward to it. So, and I meant to bring this up earlier when we were talking about Zack a bit more. I think it makes sense to make him more of a key character this time around because we definitely got a big part of the fan base that loves Zack more than Cloud. And I believe in the original game, FSN original, the Zack stuff was like sub quests or side stuff you didn't necessarily have to do. It's like you wouldn't really know about some of his story if you did not do those optional quests.
Not only that, you don't really know much about him. Well, you don't really know much about Zack until one, he's talked about by Aerith or Eris, depending on the way you put the name.
Yeah.
Still stupid that there's two different ways for it. Anyways,
I agree.
And then when you happen across Gongaga and find his house, his parents literally say, "Oh, we're waiting for our son to come back."
Oh my God, you're right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, his parents literally say, "We're waiting for our son to come back." He left to go become a part of Soldier, and they have heard nothing from him for now. By the way, 6 to 7 years.
Yeah.
No, it's been longer than 5 years, dude. It was longer than. Wow.
6 to 7 years that they have heard nothing from Zack.
Wow.
Nothing. Because if it's from Crisis Core to Final Fantasy VII, the 6 to 7 years that pass.
Yeah.
That's at least 6 to 7 years that his parents have heard nothing from him at all.
That's
they have
crazy.
heard nothing from Shinra saying that his son has died or that their son has died. Nothing from anyone that may have known of him and knew where he came from.
Because Shinra, they probably covered it. They covered it up,
And then not only that, even
they
after
tried to make him they made him a suspect because they were like, he went rogue.
They made him a martyr. They made him a martyr. That's what they did. But not only that, even after the live stream incident, when you piece all of the things together and Cloud remembers that Zack died trying to save him and, succeeded. When you go back, you can't even give them that information.
Yeah.
I've tried doing that. You can't.
No, not in the game.
Even if you wait until after that and go to Gongaga and try to give them that information, they will just brush it off and say, "No, our son isn't dead. He's still out there." You know how fucked that is? To literally come up and be like, "Hey, yeah, I'm sorry to let you know, but your son died saving me. You're wrong. He's still out there. We believe in it." And it's just like, bro, the fuck?
Yeah.
I understand you want your son alive and well, but believe me,
I'm really interested. I'm interested now then that you bring that up, how they're going to handle that in Rebirth, because they're going to have to. That has to happen. That's when whether we have the option to actually tell them what happened or not this time around versus not being able to.
I'm hoping that woman, don't you do 5 hours later for me? I'm hoping that he's actually back in Gongaga. He's back with his parents.
In which timeline? The one timeline he's alive in, or the one?
Yes, the one he's alive in.
Okay.
I'm hoping you can find him back in Gongaga, or at least not in Gongaga, but you can get him in your party type thing and take him back to Gongaga.
Well,
I'm hoping that to be a case. In this.
That may or may not happen based on what is shown at the end of the Yuffie DLC, which you both need to get to at some point. I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but there is a end cutscene you definitely want to watch.
Oh God!
I'll get into it. I promise.
Brent's like, I'll get into it. I'm just like, I'm a broke ass bitch. I can't get into shit.
You can work now, sir. You're gonna get it at some point.
I need the time. I need the time.
I need the time, bro. I just need. The money.
Sir, take a break from Final Fantasy 14. That'll give you some time.
See, here's the thing.
Okay, better yet. Brent, are you done with the MSQ?
I'm pretty much done with the whole entire
Take a break from it and play goddamn Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate.
Sir,
yes.
Sir, hold up. Time out. I'm doing
Don't you sue me.
I gotta get my crafting and gathering classes up.
No.
Hey,
gotta make money.
You can wait to do that later.
You can just not do that now and just wait.
Yeah, you can wait.
The reason why, if you wait, if you remember, you get a rest bonus. The longer you wait, the more of a rest bonus you get.
Exactly.
And what does that rest bonus do? Double your XP!
I mean, some of the stuff that I have can double my XP too. I'm almost done with being in a botanist.
Sir, all we're saying is take a break, like, or just do it once a week. Do 14 once a week or twice a week, and then spend like 1 or 2 days on the remake.
All right, I'll do that. Okay, you guys got me. All right. Okay.
Well, do you have
tried to
integrate?
help
Do you have
you
integrate for
speed it
PS5 or you get it for PC?
I still got the original for PlayStation 4 and everything, but I get
Okay.
it for PC though. 'Cause,
Okay.
you know, my PC can pretty much do a lot of things to my own.
Yeah, I might. I'll eventually get integrated probably for PC too, because I want to see what possible mods they might come up with later on that would change up the gameplay of it.
I'm going to give myself an aneurysm, woman.
What the hell?
I will
Okay.
give myself an aneurysm. This is how it goes all the fucking time.
Okay. Anyway, next question here that the interviewer talks about. I'm sure there are different possibilities regarding that scene that and really makes you theorize. Well, since you mentioned there will be 3 parts, where exactly will FF7 Rebirth cover? And Nomura responds with, "We have not announced until recently how many parts the story will be, as we actually were considering whether to do it in 2 or 3 parts." Wow. So I remember when they originally were announced this, they didn't have no idea how many parts there were going to be, and people were theorizing like, "Oh God, it's going to be like 4, 5, 7 parts." Something like that.
I
These
figured they would have
crazy
done
predictions
3
went on.
just because the original game was 3 discs. So
That's
each
was my thought
disc-
process too.
What's that?
Like, that was my thought process too. Like, because the original game was 3
Yeah.
discs, like they should not do more than 3 parts. They should be able to fit everything in 3 parts.
That's just my thought process. Is
Yeah.
Hey, you have the original is 3 discs.
Mhm.
Each disc covered a certain amount of the game.
Right.
Do it that way.
And the fact he's saying that they were considering to only do 2 parts instead of 3 is insane. Like, they were possibly going to do 2 parts only. Wow.
I have a feeling they're gonna do 3 games. Let's not lie.
Oh no, they already confirmed it. Yeah. It's crazy that originally they were thinking about doing 2.
Yeah.
And then next one here, only 2 parts. Since let's see, F7 Remake only covered Midgar, it left us with the impression there might be 3 or even 4 parts. The original game was only on 3 discs, with the international version being on 4. Moore says, "We started planning with 3 parts in mind, but there was a time when Katase suggested we actually divide it into 2 parts." Wow. And Katase says, it was one of the ideas I had among many different ideas we were tossing around. We were planning 7 Remake. It was difficult to see exactly how much manpower it would take. After completing 7 Remake, we had a much better picture of how much manpower and what type of schedule it would require. That's why I had thought that we might be able to reach the ending with even the next installment. And then Nomura says, at the moment we do not plan to do more than a trilogy. However, since 7 Remake only took place in Midgar, we might be worried that the remaining 2 installments will have too much content and we might have to omit something. Rest assured that we will not condense things, as each installment has a lot to offer. Oh my God, thank you. So that means they're not going to really take out anything at all.
Good.
They'll do it like how Remake did it, where like Remake was essentially the first original game with like maybe like, I don't know, 5 to 10% of it being like kind of new bullshit. And you'll see what I mean once you guys beat it towards the end, and so things trickled in what throughout it, the plot ghosts, as people like to call them.
The plot goes.
That's what they are, dude. They're essentially like freaking plot ghosts.
I know what you're talking about and everything. It's funny how you say it, like, oh, they're just plot ghosts. They're just here just to kind of fuck with you guys.
They're there to freaking keep the timeline as the original timeline, and then, I mean, do you want me to tell you what happens?
I got to the part where I was in the last thing I remember doing before the incident and everything. I was in the church, and we met the plot ghostesses, and they were trying to I guess stop us from doing
Oh,
something.
so you didn't get to chapter 17 or anything like that, or 16.
But like I said, if going back, it's gone off of the original Final Fantasy 7 and everything, and that.
But the thing
I would
is, they
say-
change how things happen. Like, it's still FF7 original at its core, but there's some stuff they change in how things go.
Yeah. So I'm thinking when you say chapter 17, that means you had to be in the Shinra building, like
So yeah, 17 was like the Shimmer building still. 18 is the last chapter where you basically go to
Leaving. You're leaving.
you're leaving and you essentially go into this like other dimension, whatnot, portal thing, whatever. It's like it kind of gets very Kingdom Hearts-ish, and you fight Sephiroth. So,
And that's the thing. The original game, you didn't fight Sephiroth whatsoever.
which is why it's so important and that people pay attention. This is not a remake in the sense of like, oh, it's a one-to-one remake. It's a remake in the sense that shit is happening differently, because
Well, yeah, if you remember correctly, when they talked about doing the remake, and a lot of people saw that, oh, Sephiroth appears so early in the game.
Yeah.
Why is this the case? If I remember correctly, they said a lot of the people that's gonna play this game already know who Sephiroth is, and
Right.
already know of them, or know of him as like the main big bad character in a sense.
right.
Mhm.
So we, through that idea of like, oh, you don't see Sephiroth until Junon when you're in the boat and he attacks the boat and shit like that. That's not when you're gonna see Sephiroth. You're gonna see Sephiroth first thing in the fucking beginning of the game. That's
First
when
thing
you're
in the
gonna see
morning,
him.
baby.
Yeah. Plus, they had to be more creative. Like, they didn't want to do, like, because the devs, I think, even made this themselves at one point or whatever. They didn't want to do a one-for-one thing. Like, you know, and that's, like, I respect that, and I want that too. I feel like a remake should not be a one-to-one remake thing. You should add stuff to it, change how things happen a little bit, but still stick to the core of the story.
It's the same as, kind of diving off from that. It's
Mhm.
the same as the Resident Evil, like the first game for the Resident Evil remake. It's not a one-to-one.
Yeah.
It's a one-to-one to a sense, but there are extra rooms added, extra enemies added.
Yep.
Like, there was more shit added in to that remake
Mhm.
that the first game didn't even have.
Right? Same with Resident Evil 2 Remake, where Mr. X is effectively a different type of character in a sense where he functions differently a little bit.
But we're not.
And I
talking-
love
that.
We're not talking about 3. We're definitely.
No, no,
We
no, no, no,
ignored
no,
three.
no,
We
we
ignored
no.
Three's,
But yeah.
three's not viable.
So-
We ignored 3.
I love that they're getting creative with this and they're messing with us and they're teasing us with being, you know, add new stuff and sort of change things about how they happen. Because I know they don't want to do it exactly the same. They want to get creative. And I love the creative juices that they're using with this remake trilogy. And
I didn't know that.
oh, you did? My bad.
No, the original game was only 3 discs with the international version on 4.
Yeah, I
Yes.
didn't. Yeah, that I didn't know. I didn't know they had.
I didn't know that.
I know they
Because
had.
I had the 3 disc version. I didn't have a 4 disc version. I had a 3 disc version.
Yeah.
So I
That's
didn't know
insane.
that was the case.
And let's see here. What else I want to go back on and respond about? So I think when they're talking about, it was difficult to see exactly how much manpower it would take, but after completing some remake, we have a much better picture of how much manpower and what type of schedule will be like require. So I think after they got some remake done, they kind of understand, okay, we got the foundation built. It's gonna be a little bit easier, you know. Assets is gonna be probably easier to build. You know, we got our artwork done. I think they're using what, Unreal Engine 4 or 5.
I would
Actually,
say
I
at
think
least 5.
I think they were using 5. They switched to 5 for Rebirth and going forward.
Bro,
Let's
why I was
go-
thinking they couldn't go to use the RE engine. I'm like, no, that's Capcom.
No. That's Capcom.
No, Capcom has their own. Other companies
Yeah.
use Unreal Engine.
So they are going to use Unreal Engine 5, and I think that I think even Epic said they made Unreal Engine 5 even easier for developers to use, so they can kind of help make game development faster for them, which is good. And that's good. I don't know for sure though if Rebirth is going to be a fully open world. I think it's going to be like big open areas possibly. Because I don't know if it'll be like a full-on FF15 thing. Because I've heard issues with F15 is like there's not really much of any towns you actually go to.
There really isn't.
I can put insight on that. 'Cause I actually 100% in 15. Wait, 15 or 13? No, Final Fantasy 13. I would say Final Fantasy 13.
13's
Was-
linear as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
I
had like
hated
this.
13. I'm not gonna lie.
It had like this pseudo open world. So it pretty much like, oh, hey, there's a cave here. You know, let me go explore.
Mhm.
It was like stuff like that. So
But even like
think,
go ahead.
I think Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth to pretty much have something like that.
You think they're going to something similar to FF13? Okay. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I played some of FF15, and where you got to use the car to drive around and whatnot, get around.
Yeah,
but it's kind of
15,
barren.
my bad. 15. I'm sorry.
Oh,
15.
15. So you 100% at 15, not 13.
Yeah, I'm talking about 15. My bad.
Okay, so you're talking about 15, and you think Rebirth is gonna have a similar open world structure?
Yeah, something like that. Cause they have the concept there and everything, but they're not gonna have like a full blown open world. If they do have like I'm not gonna say open world. I would say like you have.
What about like open zone? Would that be a better term?
Yeah, like an open zone and everything. Cause you know the original Final Fantasy VII, like you can drive around, not drive around, but you can walk around the world.
Walk around and you eventually get an airship, dude.
Yeah, so once you get the airship and everything, you can go to other areas.
But I think we're not getting the airship until part 3.
Yeah. So, 'cause, when you get 3, that's pretty much, as Max said, that's pretty much wrapping everything up. You can
right, yeah. And I agree with Max in the sense I think 3 is gonna be where you're basically hunting kaijus, like the weapons, just like that. And
I can tell you right now, the weapons gonna destroy everything, especially Emerald. Emerald is gonna destroy everything.
My favorite one is gonna be Ultimate Weapon, always.
Ultimate Weapon is just gonna be death.
But that's probably gonna be my favorite fight, though. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Now, you know what? I got a feeling. Besides, Ruby, Emerald, Sapphire, and Ultimate Weapon, is gonna be another weapon they're gonna add. I have
that'd be nice.
They're gonna add another weapon.
Like add an original weapon. That'd be dope.
They're going to add another weapon.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
You know what? If that's the case, because if I remember correctly, weren't the weapons like created?
Mm-hmm.
If they do that, they're going to, as you said, Mike, they're going to add the original weapon, aka the very first one that they made.
Ooh.
If they were to do that, that would make sense if they add the very first one that they made.
Yeah. That wasn't an original game, but okay.
Yeah, like it gave the basis to make all of the other ones.
Honestly, that'd be cool. I'll be down with that. Sure.
The reason why I'm saying that, remember, that changing the timeline. The timeline is trying to stay the same, but it's already changed. You already know that.
Oh,
so it's gonna be like, all right, cool. Hojo has something else going on in the background, cause he had a lab in Nibelheim and everything. He had one in
he had one in Midgard, Nibelheim.
Oh, he had a lab everywhere.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So it was just like, all right, he had to be doing something else. Like, he had to be doing something else.
And what kind of going back to what you were saying earlier, I wonder if he's gonna be like, there's gonna be a version of him doing something in Zack's timeline as well as him doing something in Cloud's timeline. Like they both I don't know, at some point just do something to screw some stuff up,
Not you say that, I'm thinking Dragon Ball now, cause it was two different
God, yeah.
it was a doctor. Well, let's go to GT. I hate to say it, even though GT was it was a Dr. Gero that was in hell and everything. It was another doctor that was that made they had two Android 17s and everything. So they fused them together, made Hellfighter 17. So that's why if it's two Hojos,
Dr. Hojos,
it's gonna be something awful.
I want, and it's crazy. What if they somehow have them meet up, and they're just their version of themselves decide to cook up something together? I don't know if that would happen. I'd be crazy as hell if they did something like that, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. As long as the core of the story stays the same, because that's what it seems like. That's what it seems like they're doing. They're trying to stick to the core of the story, but they're going to change things up as far as when stuff certain happens. Maybe Aerith's death will happen at a later time in the game or story. I don't know, or they may give you false hope. Maybe you can save her, but still have to realize she has to die.
Still say what might happen is she may end up dying, but she would drop the what was it? The holy material, right?
Was it holy? I thought it was black material.
Holy.
No, holy. It was holy material because
Aerith drops holy material when Sephiroth kills her. And then
no, you're right. Sorry, you're right.
You have to go to the submarine to go collect it.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
With that being said, I would say, cool. She dropped the holy material, but she still gets saved, even though holy material is gone now. Well, not gone, but it's out of her and everything, and now they gotta go and get the holy material.
Yeah.
But she still gets saved in a way.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
But like you still can be able to collect the holy material and everything. It's just out of her body now, but you can still collect the holy material. So.
Adding on to the content here, content discussion. The next question is about the amount of content to cover after leaving Midgar is a lot, so we're looking forward to it. The game will be released next year in the winter, so that's very soon. It would only be about a year and a half away. So before that, we will also have Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII Reunion, and FF7 Ever Crisis. There's also FF7 First Soldier, which is already available. Oh, my bad. I thought I was going to the world stuff. And Nomura responds with, yes, that's right. I did not want fans to just wait patiently for 7 Remake Part 3. So I want to allow fans to continue to join the world of FF7 and connect them to the trilogy. Our staff are doing their best. So we really hope you can look forward to the game. Katase adds in, the basic part of FF7 Rebirth has been completed, and right now we're in the mass production phase. We're making great progress on the game, so please wait a bit longer. So if they're in the mass production phase, that means they're getting it ready to go gold. They're probably doing some polishing to it, getting some bugs kinked out or worked out, whatever. Okay. That's very good news. And the fact that it seems like Nomura and Katase are very adamant about wanting us to play Crisis Core is very important, because I want to talk about this with you guys, where you guys know about the twist in 3 or Disc 3 or whatever, right? And how Crisis Core essentially alludes to that or connects to that. And like, they want people to know about that, even ones that have not played it before, know the story, and how that's going to connect to the trilogy. That's interesting. Do you think like that, I guess, is a good thing to do?
I mean, I understand where they're coming from in wanting to,
because they could easily change it up in whatever 3 is called. Like, they can alter it in a way, or do it, basically do it. Basically, like they can add on to the original twist in some way, or change up the twist in some way. So where we might think what happens in Crisis Core at the end, that gives that some of that sort of twist away in Disc 3 or whatever. We might think something's going to actually originally happen, but then they just throw a wrench at it. It's like, oh no, this happened instead. I don't know.
It's a lot of things that happen in Crisis Core.
Yeah.
And behind that is like, all right, what actually? Because they never really brought Zack back. Everybody knows that Zack died. That's what. That's pretty much everybody thinks. Like, okay, Zack died. But
right?
Did he really? That'd be
right.
The thing is that Zack, like, even though Zack is dying and everything, Hojo's be like, hey, he'll be a good experiment. He'd be like a good specimen to be an experiment or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So keep him alive, because he has Mako inside of him. So we can use him. That'd be something Hojo.
And then Audrey even translated this even more so to kind of actually add on to it and confirm it. Nomura, Katase explain in 4Gamer, they hope everyone plays Crisis Core FF7 Reunion to understand how important of a role Zack plays and how it connects with FF7 Rebirth. Like, he wants people to know. He's just like, let's just lay that shit on the table,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Nomura also mentions locations may not be visited in the exact order as the OG.
Okay.
Ooh.
So y'all may get golden sauce a little bit early.
Or later, I don't know. That tells me that whenever we the original time or how we get golden sauce is going to possibly change. Junior Harbor might change as far as when we get to that. Let's see. What's the other one? Fort Condor is another one that could change in terms of like where when we get to that. Oh my god!
I mean, with Yuffie, y'all doing the whole Fort Condor thing early, the minigame thingy.
Yeah.
But let's see. Hell, you might do the Temple of the Ancients a lot early too, to be honest.
That's a good point.
Well, the thing is, in the original, you don't do Temple of Ancients until after you've done after you've gotten Sid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But who knows when Sid may come into this now? Like, he may come in at a different time than original.
Yeah.
Vincent, Sid, and Yuffie could all come at a different time, but I think for at least Yuffie, because I know Vincent, Yuffie are optional. I think Sid's optional too, right? Or no?
No.
No,
Sid
Sid
is
is not
part of the
optional.
game.
Okay, Sid's not optional. I was
Yuffie and Vincent, I want to say, are the only two that are optional.
Yeah.
Sid is not. Kate
Mhm.
Sith is not. You know, obviously, Aerith,
Right.
Barrett, Tifa, they're all not optional. Like, you have to get
Okay.
them.
So you know how Yuffie, like, how her subquest works is like she basically is like steals material from the group or whatever, right?
Mhm.
So would it be fitting if they, instead of make Tifa, or not Tifa, sorry, don't make Tifa, why do I keep saying Tifa? Don't make Yuffie and Vincent optional. Make them actually part of the narrative where you got to get them, as well as Kate Sith. And I think probably the best way for Yuffie to come into the story is like maybe when they're in was it Com or something like that, and she like maybe steals the material overnight or something like that. Maybe.
It'll be something like cause you know you meet Yuffie in a random encounter, and you just
True.
like, who the hell is this? So
True.
it'll be like, let's say, nah, cause Yuffie gonna be she's gonna be part of the story. She's gonna be into the part of the story now.
Well, one reason I say that too is once you guys both play Yuffie DLC, that's a possibility that may happen if they go with that. I don't know for sure. I'm just speculating, but
I said I know Yuffie's gonna be part of the story now, because she's gonna. Okay, here's the thing. How I look at it like this. I'm gonna look at it like this. Yuffie's gonna be part of the story because it has something to do. We're gonna go right back to Zack.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Zack met Yuffie with, before you do the the Wu-Tang War and all this stuff.
yeah, you're right.
You literally meet Yuffie in the beginning of the game.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's definitely gonna connect to Zack. I agree with that, and the fact like the Yuffie DLC essentially makes her
Makes
part
her
of the narrative.
makes her a main.
without giving too
person.
much away because you guys haven't played it yet. But yeah, it pretty much makes her a part of the narrative now. So that's why I think she won't be optional in Rebirth. She'll have to be part of the narrative. And you know, speculation is she could possibly either steal the material from the group, like when they're chilling in a lodge or hotel, whatever the heck, and calm overnight, or in some other way. And then that's how they kind of meet Yuffie. And I guess talk to her, convince her to join them on their journey. Vincent, I don't know. Because you
Vincent's
technically
gonna
get
be the same way.
I don't know because you find him in a
Vincent-
coffin.
Well,
Yeah,
Vincent is a experiment. Is a turned experiment.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
So maybe it'll make it part of the narrative where you have to go to like maybe I don't know, maybe not exactly like the same exact area he's in the original game, but maybe like a laboratory or something like that, and you find him kind of like how you find Red 13 in the remake.
Here's the thing: you can find Vincent in Crisis Core as well.
Oh, I did not know that.
So,
Interesting.
Yeah, you can find him in Crisis Core as well.
Hmm.
Zack says something. He said, I think somebody was sleeping here or something like that. Cause
Oh, that's
Um,
alluding to Vincent.
yeah, but they don't really say anything about Vincent until like Final Fantasy 7. But he's in Crisis Core. He was already being experimented on.
Yeah.
So this, if you go and look at like before Crisis, because Vincent was a Turkin before Crisis.
Mhm.
But I think like the events that happened before Crisis and everything pretty much sets up Crisis Core, then Final Fantasy 7.
Okay.
So pretty much, like I said before, I always keep saying that they're doing a Kingdom Hearts. Because if you don't actually play like some of the mobile games and everything, you won't understand what's actually going on.
Yeah.
Or
I don't know.
looking at
I don't
some
know
of-
because the way Ever Crisis is structured, though, it seems like they're trying to tell the entire story from even as the starting point. I said starting point. Starting point of Crisis Core up into F7 original and beyond. That seems like, but just in like sort of it's gonna be a mobile game, but it's gonna be like I guess a sort of updated visual version of the original game. I guess, that people wanted, because I know there are some people that were upset at the remake because they did change some things. They didn't change a bunch, but they changed some things, and they're upset because they're basically upset it was on 1-to-1 remake. And I'm like, what? No, if you want a 1-to-1 remake, get the PC version. There are mods that'll essentially make it into a updated HD remake for you, and it'll play the same.
The fucking new threat mod is pretty much the remake. I'm not gonna lie,
it's wonderful. I looking at Max play that, I was just like, yo, that new threat mod is.
Oh yeah, that's how I found out about it. Maximilian dude.
That's a good way to actually do a game. That's how you do a game and everything. Like, you don't have to
reinvent it in a way, reinvent the wheel a little bit.
Yeah, you don't have to have a game that's gonna be 1-to-1 and everything. That's I would say, to me, that's boring. That's why would you remake the game and be like a 1-to-1 to what it was originally? And that's pretty boring. Like,
this is part 1. Sorry. Sorry, I had to throw that out there because that's what they confirmed that to be. It's a 1-to-1. It's just an up-scaled visuals version of the game. They ain't changed nothing about the story.
That's all right, bro. Don't do
that. I want to continue on here with 4Gamer. It says, with the announcement of FF7 Rebirth, I think the part that's most intriguing to fans is, Zach, will the FF7 Rebirth story change greatly than the one from the original game? The more responds, the story's axis will not change. Regarding this new mystery that is different than the original game, I'm sure that those who played the original will enjoy a fresh experience while playing Rebirth. On that note, there will be some changes regarding the progression of the game. For example, when playing the game, you might think, wait, did that location get cut out? However, that's because the composition of the trilogy might be why certain places are not visited. There will be changes as to the order of when you head to certain locations. In general, we do not plan to delete any locations. That is very good news. So confirming once again, they're not taking anything else. They're not going to cut anything. They're just going to relocate stuff. They're going to rearrange some things around a bit to kind of give us fresh experience, which I don't blame them for, because, you know, you want to get creative with this stuff. You don't want to, like, especially for those that have played the original like us, as well as for new fans. I mean, new fans, new fans will probably be like, I don't know, they probably may not care either way about it, but us as, like, played original, we don't want most of us probably don't want a 1-for-1. We want some stuff to be a little different. And
well, absolutely, things do need to be different. And I did notice, like, the FF7 new threat mod and the remake itself both have the arena aspect to continue on with the game.
Yeah.
Which I thought was neat, the fact that they both share that.
Definitely do. Like, it's crazy. And then next year, we're excited to see how the game has been changed. I want to play it as soon as possible. Do you have any messages to the fans regarding the development of 7 Remake project?
Yeah,
Saito.
Shut the fuck up.
Let's see.
I read that last bit. I'm upset.
Oh, what, my stream?
Yeah.
Oh, so you might ask, why is Zach heading to Midgard with Cloud in F7 Rebirth trailer? The answer is, will fold as you play F7 Rebirth. Oh, man. Well, isn't... I don't know, because my thing with... Because I played the games, like, well, except for Crisis Core. I played Remake and Integrate, right? And I know where Zach is, or supposed to be technically within the story right now. So, and the fact that they show what they did in the trailer, where he's got Cloud with him and they're going back to Midgard, I think that's a flashback. I don't think that's where he's in his timeline alive. I think that's just a flashback thing. I don't know about you guys.
Showing that off, it would be more of a flashback thing. But my thing is, showing that off, where the fuck is he? If he's alive, in a sense, where the fuck is he?
Do you want me to tell you?
I mean, I don't really give a fuck.
Brett?
If you tell me, I can tell you right now, I will most likely forget.
Come on, Zach.
Okay.
Where is Zach? You trying to tell me where
Do you
Zach
like, because I've beaten Remake base game and the Yuffie DLC. Do you want me to tell you where Zach is in the timeline he's alive in?
Ooh, why not?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Tell me where my boy is at. Where my baby boy is at?
Zach is at the church.
Okay, I figured that.
He's at the church because he's alive, and he's thinking, okay, let me go see my girl. He goes, Aerith and him were dating or whatever, right?
Oh yeah.
Opens the church up, the doors, right? People in there are crying and boo-hooing. And there's a cutscene that shows this. If you pay attention closely to it, you'll notice there's something wrong with the flowers. You'll know something's wrong with the flower bed, that they look like they're dying, which indicates, and Maximilian Dude speculated on this, and I kind of agree with him, that either Aerith is either missing in his timeline or Aerith is already dead in his timeline.
And he's alive.
Yes.
That would make sense.
No.
Well,
So
it would make sense with her being missing, not dead, with her being.
But there's people that are in there crying, like legit crying, like something really sad has happened, either a death or some, I don't know, something messed up has gone down.
What if Cloud died? What if Cloud died?
That wouldn't make sense because he was carrying Cloud with him after.
I know, I'm just saying. This a widow.
Now, if you guys want to see that scene, it is on YouTube.
I'm gonna look at it. Well,
not like whenever you want to get time, but yeah. So that's why I think that in that trailer it's a flashback, not where he's supposed to be at right now in the story. So that's a mind fuck right there.
They Kingdom Hearts us. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's all Kingdom Hearts.
Since the announcement trailer was only a teaser one, there wasn't much info in it. The next trailer will be one that has info that will certainly surprise you. Oh my god. Oh my god. Fucking teasing us. Bad. At first glance, it seems F7 Rebirth had an open world. And Romer says, we'll explain that in the next info drop. So the next time they do an info drop trailer, they're gonna talk about that, if it's actually open world or something different. Can we assume the same system from F7 Remake will be carried over? Romer says, yes, that's right. The first F7 Remake will serve as a base, and F7 Rebirth will hopefully follow its footsteps. That makes sense. They're just gonna expand upon it with world building. It's surprising that the next summit after F7 Remake would arrive in only about 3 years after the first summit was released. Where says it's really quite fast when you consider the time it took to move the game onto the PS5 and then to PC versions for F7 Remake Integrate. Katase is making the F7 Remake Integrate soon after F7 Remake has also had an impact. We were able to shift our resources to PS5 and allowed it for a smoother development of F7 Rebirth. I mentioned this in the developer's message, but it's truly amazing that we were able to develop a title at this scale so quickly. So yeah, all the more reason it seems like Unreal Engine 5 is a better engine that helps developers make games faster, gives them better tools, features, assets, whatever. So, which means that maybe, because they're saying 3 years of difference time between Remake and Rebirth. This is where I think they're talking about fiscal year, not actual years. Which is why I think it's going to be 2024 March, probably. Which means if it does come out 2024, then we'll probably get the third game 2 to 3 years later. And they're already working on the third game right now, because Nomura confirmed that not too long ago.
Here's my thing about that. Okay. God, hopefully nothing bad happened to me. But
hopefully nothing bad happened to me.
But I mean, cool that we have to, wait for it and everything, granted. But it's just like, it's what's the word I'm looking for? Time exclusive. There we go. Like how it was like, oh yeah, we're gonna have it on the PlayStation 4 or 5 for like a year. Then next thing you know, hey, we're gonna put it on Epic Games, which was stupid. Then
they're gonna do the same thing. This Rebirth is gonna be a time exclusive again.
I know, but I'm saying that's stupid. Like, just go ahead and release it on everything, because once you do that, your sales is gonna go through the roof.
But here's the thing, though: Remake sold extremely well just on PS4 alone.
No, I mean, this the title.
Sony paid them bucks, man. Sony's like, we're gonna pay them big bucks. So it's like, all right, and that shit sold like hotcakes.
I say it's the title itself, like Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 7 itself is pretty much a big thing. Yeah. I would say if they do Final Fantasy 6, let's say they do Final Fantasy 6, because in a way, Final Fantasy 6 was like another pretty much fan favorite.
Yeah.
Like if they do that, if they remake that and everything, people lose their damn mind.
I still gotta play through 6 and understand what the hell is so good about that game.
Bro, just know this: the bad guy wins.
Wait, for which game?
Final
FF6.
Fantasy 6.
Oh, yeah, the Final Fantasy 6 for some reason has a really big like following on it.
Yeah. Because I argue FF10 is probably the second most popular of the FF games after 7.
That Final Fantasy 10.
I think, but I could be wrong.
Nah, granted, I give you that. Cause Final Fantasy 10 was of its time was the first one to have like animated cutscenes, voiced over, and all this.
Yeah, it was like not fully voiced, but it was mostly voiced characters.
So it pretty much actually made you feel for some of the characters too.
Oh yeah. I personally would love a remake treatment for that game. let's just forget about X10-2. Let's just remake 10-1 in a much better way.
we don't really talk about 10-2, even though 10-2 has some good ass music, especially 1,000 words. 1,000 words actually made me cry.
My issue is the story of 10-2 though. God, they messed up that story so bad.
They tried to capitalize off of 10.
Yeah,
and screwed it up.
All right, almost finished, guys. So what exactly would FF7 Rebirth what exactly will F7 Rebirth cover when compared to the original game? Katase says, while I can't reveal a clear picture for you, there will not be any lack of major events that appear in the original game. However, the locations that appear in the original game might not be present in the same order, which I already confirmed earlier. The chronology of how locations appear might be shuffled. In other words, even though the order of locations have changed, that doesn't mean location itself is omitted. Don't worry about that. So, I don't know what they can go to. In Rebirth, they can go to probably Aerith's death, or in like when Barrett and Tifa are like in prison, and Sephiroth has like got Meteor on the way. Like, I don't know, they can do that. They can go a little bit past that, or right before that. I don't know. What do you guys think?
What, for this too, right? Well,
like for Rebirth, like where they might end at.
Pretty much when they've been in prison.
The first one went to a little straight to Midgard, just leaving Midgard. Depending on how much they want to add in 2 and 3, it all depends on as to where they would leave off at for this 2, because you wider a bit of content to go through. You had to get calm. You had to go through the salsa.
Well, if you want to know, I can tell you where they're at, because they are out. They're out of Midgar by the time you're done with the usual DLC, and they're in calm.
I figured they would at least be there.
Like they did a cutscene where it skips the journey to calm, and they're just there. They're like they are arriving in there basically.
Yeah.
So I feel that's why I feel like with like Rebirth is where it's going to start at. It makes sense to start in like the flashback, or Cloud talking about his experience with Sephiroth, and him and Sephiroth in the truck and just like that, and that's where you play a Sephiroth potentially. And then from there it's like, okay, shit, like where are you in that then? Because if part 3, because like Max Moon Dude said, it makes sense for part 3 to be about like the airship and hunting the kaijus like that. So yeah, I'm wondering if 3 should start off with Sephiroth summoning Meteor, or Rebirth should end with him summoning Meteor. So it looks like,
I mean, it would make more sense if they end it with him going through the process to truly summon Meteor.
Right, make it seem like have Rebirth be like where the villains are kind of in the lead right now. They're winning, the good guys are basically got their asses kicked, kind of like Empire Strikes Back situation thing. You're saying the mystery of Nibelheim was probably one of the most important parts of the original game, and to have players who play the original relive that mystery, also say, oh, I already know what happens. Oh, he's talking about how he wanted to be different, be creatively different with this game. Yeah. All they would need to know is replay it. Wait, I know. Yeah, and we would have been like, okay, I already know what happens here. It's okay. So he's talking about how they're changing things up in orders like that. However, however, there would be no point in the story were to change completely and become something entirely different. The challenge we have been working on is even if we were to introduce a new mystery into the game, how do we make it so it does not deviate much from the original game? Katase says in general, most people would just be content with the nostalgia of the game, where they can just buy it and enjoy it. The nostalgia feelings it brings forth. However, we have experienced that time and time again. That's why we didn't like the thought of simply just remaking F7. Thank you. We hope to make a game that those who are happy to hear of the new FS7 release can play and enjoy, and the old players will also be able to have fresh new experience as well. Yeah, it makes sense. Do that. Like, once again, don't do a remake as one thing. After reading through this fully though with you guys and getting your perspectives as well as giving mine, I'm just even more excited. Thank you both for bringing up certain points and topics that I didn't think about with Rebirth
always do.
and Reunion. I want to talk about with this stuff more with you guys in the future. We'll try to get Ollie and Mel in here too at some point and do this after we all play the Crisis Core Reunion. And probably just kind of get a better idea. And plus, when we get more information from Rebirth too, you know, so probably next big time, maybe when we get more information on Rebirth as well as like sometime next year, we'd like to get you guys together and we talk about this again as far as like what could happen once we know a little bit more about Rebirth.
Yeah. Oh, dude, absolutely.